All right, you guys, we're back in the building with another video on today. This is the segment of Keeping It Raw. If you have not seen the other segments, go back into the playlist and you'll be able to see those videos as well. As we talked about the Detroit Lions, talked about Kayvon Thibodeau, talked about the Detroit Lions being able to draft game changers. And if this franchise is going to change and do the right thing in 2022, this season has to be the year that the Lions find a way to draft some impact players, some guys that you can plug and play and get this thing rolling, man. Now, right now, currently, guys, when you look at the Detroit Lions and you see everything that these guys are doing, only thing that you can hope for as a fan, that this thing will get better. Now, in the recent weeks, there's a lot of news that's come out on Jared Goff and come out on this franchise. Pretty much the Lions are backing Jared Goff, and I'm not going to say that they shouldn't back him. You know, definitely he's the starting quarterback. He's going to be the starting quarterback this year. Now, whether or not they decide to hold on to him next year is going to be a total different story. But we know, you know, the news and the stuff that they talk about these quarterbacks that are coming to the draft, pretty much they're just saying that these quarterbacks are no good, really. If you really look at it, it's no one really special. It's no one to really draft out of here. So the Lions don't need to draft a quarterback. Now, there's guys that probably have a high ceiling. Guys like Malik Willis, because he's so raw. And I know using the word raw is just saying, like, you know, there's so many things that he needs to work on. But the dude, one thing that you can't take away from him is that he has the arm talent and he has the ability to escape the pocket and make throws on the run. And that's something that the Lions do not have. And sure enough, guys, you know, yeah, I would like for the Lions to have a quarterback like a Malik Willis, somebody that can make plays with his legs as well as his arm. But at the end of the day, it's not my decision. It's not your decision. It's not any of our decision on what the Lions are going to do. Only thing we're wanting to know and to see from this organization is they know how to draft right and that they know how to get players in here that would have an immediate impact to this roster, because the Lions need it. You know, you didn't do the grandest when you come to the free agency. You know, it wasn't, you know, not saying that they had to go out and get big names. We're not saying that. We're just saying, you know, you didn't tweak the roster half and half or anything like that. You know, some guys could have probably been brought in. But then you look at what Brad Holmes said, you know, the grass is not always greener on the other side. And sometimes that is true, but then sometimes there's a chance that you have to be able to take an opportunity with other guys because you know what you're getting from those the guys that were on the roster. You just need to know who's going to come in and who's going to upgrade the positions. And the Lions felt like they didn't need to upgrade as much in the offseason. So we're going to see when the regular season come, is it going to pan off for them for pretty much keeping a majority of the players. So we're going to see if this thing pans out, and we're going to see if the Lions really have what it takes to be competitive. Now, the biggest thing with them when it comes to the stuff that has been said in the news, Rod Wood had came out a few weeks ago and pretty much endorsed Jared Goff and said that he's our quarterback. Brad Holmes has pretty much did the same, that he's our quarterback. So definitely you have to give him everything that he needs to be successful in Detroit. If Jared Goff is going to turn his career around in Detroit, and this is the guy, because I know how the Lions organization work. If Jared Goff goes out and passes for 4,000 or 5,000 yards and ends up with like 35 touchdowns or 40 touchdowns, then of course you know that they're going to give him an extension. But this is the season where he gets evaluated. He gets evaluated whether he gets an extension. He gets evaluated to know if you want to continue to go on with him. I know this was a guy that Brad Holmes drafted with the Rams. So definitely you kind of want to stick, you know, you don't want to give up on your guy so easily because you drafted this kid when you was with the Rams organization. So when he came over here to us, we pretty much knew, you know, right away that, you know, it's going to take some time for him to gel with the city, gel with the people. Because this kid has always played in California, so that's the only thing that he knows is California. Now, I'm not saying that I want Jared Goff not to have a great season. I want him to be productive. I want him to do well because it's your quarterback. You want your quarterback to go out there and perform and play well. You know, we picked up Shark. We re-signed Khalif Raymond and Josh Reynolds, and we have Amon-Ra St. Brown, and we still have Cephas currently on the roster, guys like Tom Kennedy and stuff like that. But I definitely think that the Lions need to get a wide receiver in this draft. because they only signed Chark to a 1-year deal. So pretty much that 1-year prove-it deal to see what he's going to go out and do and what type of season he can be rewarded with if they're going to decide to bring him back at the end of the season. And it's going to be probably totally on production for Chark and availability, being able to be out there on the football field. But with Jared Goff's situation, there's a lot of people that I don't know if they really look at the whole scenario of Jared Goff. Like last season, I remember when Jared Goff wasn't playing well, the fan base was chewing him a new one. The fan base was chewing this guy out. Now, all of a sudden, everybody's a Jared Goff truther and a Jared Goff believer and think that this guy is going to be able to ultimately take us to the next level. And like I said before, guys, talk is cheap. We can talk all day, but Jared Goff has to go out there and perform. We could talk, we could talk. But at the end of the day, this man is going to have to go out there and perform and show this fan base that he is for real and why he was drafted number 1. You got to show the people that, you're not in LA anymore. You're in Detroit. And Detroit is hungry to win. This fan base is probably one of the most hungriest fan bases in the league. We want to win. We've been losing so many seasons, and it just, you don't want to have the losing mentality when you come to Detroit. But it's like that's all we know. All we know is losing and getting ready for the draft. Losing and getting ready for the draft. So, of course, we want Jared Goff to do well and play exceptionally. But I can't forget what he did at the beginning of the season. Yeah, he cleaned it up at the end, but can he have a consistent season? Especially with Dan Campbell coming out recently and saying that we don't have to have an elite quarterback to sustain success in the NFL. And most teams in the NFL that have elite type of quarterbacks, they have sustained success year in and year out. You look at the Chiefs, you look at the Green Bay Packers, teams like that. Any team that Tom Brady is on, that team has success. That's what you're after if you're the Detroit Lions. You're at the consistency. You're at the being able to win not just one season. You want to win every single season if you can. And Detroit has not found a way to do that yet. They haven't found a way to get into the playoffs every year, even if they're just a wild card team. We don't know what success looks like in Detroit. We don't. So we want a winner in Detroit. I hear all the rah-rah speeches and the pep talk with Dan Campbell and also the stuff that Brad Holmes is saying. All this stuff has to come to fruition on the football field. If this stuff doesn't come to fruition on the football field, then we're just talking and we're just being a bunch of dreamers. But when is the dream going to be a reality for the Lions to start winning consistently? Because that's what you're after. And this season coming up, guess what? You should not be winning 3 games. You should be at least winning at least 6 games. That shows you that you made some improvement. If you come back into 2022 and your record is 3-13-1 again, or 13-4, whatever your record is, if you come back and you haven't won more than 3 games, then what really have you done? You've done nothing. So we can talk all we want, but we got to show it with our play out on the field on Sundays. Now, Jared Goff is going to be the quarterback of this team. And the Lions look like they have decided that they will not take a Malik Willis, and they will probably not take a quarterback in this draft. Now, maybe could they take a quarterback later in the draft? They could if they decided to do that. But it's looking like the Lions will have a defensive drive, with the exception of a few probably different pieces. Maybe you might grab a corner here. Maybe you might grab a tight end or offensive lineman or a D lineman or whatever, something different. But at the same time, where's the competition to the quarterback spot? You're coming back in this season with 2 quarterbacks that have never won with the Lions. And I'm talking about David Blau and Tim Boyle. You're talking about a combined record of 0-8 with these 2 guys at the helm and being our quarterbacks. And we're supposed to be happy with this as fans. I'm not happy with being mediocre, man. I want the best out on the field. The Lions should want the best out there. You should want the best 53-man roster that you possibly can get. because when it comes to the NFL, it's about the talent on the field. Yeah, the coaching has a part to do with it, but if the players ain't out there balling and doing their thing, then it's not going to make the coach look good. It's not. Just like a quarterback needs a wide receiver. The quarterback can't look good if the receiver is not catching the ball. You get my drift? It works hand in hand, guys. You have to be able to make it all work. And like I said, until the Lions learn how to synchronize their whole team and have the whole team playing as a unit, then we might continue to lose football games. We need to find a way that our special teams can be sharp, that our defense can be sharp, and that the offense can look sharp. Last year, the offense was struggling a lot, and then they picked it up towards the end of the year. But you need that consistent play out of Jared Goff to be that dude. If this is your guy and this is who you riding with, Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell and Rod Wood and Sheila Hemp, then he needs to be consistent. Because pretty much you're telling us that you don't need that elite type of quarterback to sustain success. And I got to say, I got to kind of disagree with that. You need that. You know, defense makes plays, man. That's what a defense is out there to do, to make the plays in order to get the ball back to the offense. And the offense puts the points up. But you need everything to work hand in hand. And if you don't think that you need an elite quarterback and you just think that your defense is going to be able to do it, you got to prove it to us. The Lions don't have a top 10 defense. So how could you make a statement like that when this defense is not top 10? And the players that you draft better get this defense to where it needs to be. Because you're telling all of us that the defense is going to be the calling card. And if the defense is the calling card for this team, then you got to show it out on the field by being a top 10 defense in 2022. Most teams in the NFL, if you do your homework, that have good quarterbacks, they find a way to be consistent every single season. And sometimes even that quarterback knows how to will his team to a victory. Do we have that yet in Detroit? Not yet, but we're working on it. So they put all the eggs in a basket for Jared Goff. I hope that Jared Goff pans out. And I hope that the fan base is not saying after the second or the third game of the season, we don't want Jared Goff. Because I know this fan base. Jared Goff starts playing horrible, then the fan base will start attacking him. That's just what it is. That's just what we do in Detroit. You start playing horrible, you're dinking and dunking, you're not throwing the ball down the field, you're not being accurate with the football, you're going to hear about it. The fans are going to call you trash. Why didn't we take a quarterback? You're going to hear all of that. So I'm just keeping it raw with y'all, man. Jared Goff must prove to this Lions organization that he is the man this season. That's the only way he gets a contract extension, and that's the only way he stays with this team. He has to prove it to not only to himself, but to the city of Detroit that he is the man for the job. He's going to get his opportunity. They're giving him the green light. So pretty much all he needs is the weapons. Grab him another receiver, and let's hit the ground running, man. Let's see what Jared Goff can do in 2022. Because next season, if they don't get the quarterback this season, or some guy that they can come in and groom or whatever, if they don't get that player, then next year they best be getting the quarterback. Because it's time. You can't keep neglecting the quarterback spot. You can't. It's nothing wrong with having friendly competition at the quarterback spot. That's what keeps everybody on top of their game. That's what keeps the players hungry and out there ready to play. Because you know in your heart of hearts, there's somebody behind you that's ready to take your spot and delegate you to the clipboard. So we'll see, man, if Jared Goff has if he has the cojones to get it done in 2022, or is it all just smoke and mirrors and it's all just talk? Because like I said before, guys, talk is cheap. All right, guys, I'm out of here. This is Raw Detroit. Make sure you hit that subscription. Make sure you like up the video. And I'm out of here till next time. Peace.